Hey Ashley, how's it going?
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good. Let's see if Joanna shows up this week.
Oh yeah, actually she would take my classes at Core Power.
Sorry, what was that?
She would actually take my classes at Core Power. She's a pretty devoted yogi, but maybe this is
Yeah.
pretty early for her. I never saw her at the 6 a.m. classes, so
Right, yeah, me too.
she's trying.
Exactly, yeah. I can't say I would necessarily be a regular at a 6:15 class either. I'm usually up by then, but more like chilling, having some coffee, relaxing.
Yeah, that is good. That's a good morning right there.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, we can go ahead and get started, and if she shows up, cool, and if not, that's cool too.
Okay.
It's just going to start on your back today. It's just however your legs feel comfortable to begin with. So they can be straight. You can have your knees bent. You can be in like Garudasana, so whatever works for you to get comfortable for these first few minutes. So let your eyes close. Let yourself come into stillness. And just notice the feedback that you're getting from your body. Let everything that's touching your mat just feel heavy and relaxed. In particular, just kind of notice where your shoulder blades are in space. If they're fairly even, if one's a little higher, a little bit lower than the other. So you're going to be focusing on a lot of work, strength, range of motion through our shoulders today. Well, it's kind of an interesting area because it's got a lot of mobility, but not necessarily a ton of stability. So we're working on a little bit of both. Try to set your shoulder blades up kind of as evenly as you can. So they're kind of nice and flat against your mat, and you just have the natural curves in your back. So that little space underneath your neck, underneath your low back. Try to keep all of that the same. Just as you inhale, reach your arms overhead as high as you can without letting your rib cage flare. So your hands might touch the ground overhead, but if they don't get all the way there without your rib cage lifting up, then just bring them to a hover. As you exhale, slowly lower your hands back down to your sides. And again, as you inhale, take your arms overhead, just to the range that you can without letting your spine start to contribute to the movement. And exhaling to bring your arms back down. Just do that like 2 or 3 more times, inhaling on the way up, nice and slow. And exhaling on the way down. And the next time you bring your arms down to your side, just pause there. Take your arms out to a T. And bend your elbows. They're at a 90-degree bend with your fingertips pointing up towards the ceiling, like a little robot arm. So again, trying to keep your shoulder blades nice and steady. Rotate your arms up. So you're going into external rotation, trying to touch your thumbs to the mat, the floor. And then rotate your arms all the way forward so your fingertips point down towards the end of your mat, going into internal rotation. Just go back and forth between that external and internal. So you have your upper arm bone pivoting in your shoulder socket. Then you might notice that one arm has more or less range of motion than the other, or maybe you're much more comfortable in external than internal, or vice versa. So you get a lot of opportunities to do kind of that external motion, but not necessarily a ton of internal motion in the shoulders in yoga. So on your next inhale, let's take a big stretch out from your fingers through your toes. If you'd like now, let your back lift up. As you exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Let's take a few rolls forward and back. And as you're ready, we'll transition into a tabletop on your hands and your knees. So just like you were a second ago, flipped over on your back, try to find kind of the natural shape of your spine. Feel your shoulder blades just sit nice and flat across your upper back. So without adding in that spinal motion, that cat and cow, squeeze your shoulder blades together straight inwards and pull your shoulder blades apart across your back. Just do that a few more times, trying to keep everything else nice and still. Keep your gaze just forward of your fingertips. And try to keep your elbows relatively straight. Just a small scapular push-up. Good, and come back to neutral. So do that same thing, but add in a little bit of spinal movement. So you squeeze your shoulder blades together, inhale into your cow. As you exhale, pull your shoulder blades apart as you round into your cat. Just a little extra activation through your upper back. Inhaling, squeeze together, lift your chest. And exhaling, push your shoulder blades apart into cow. Let's do two more like that. Inhaling. And exhale. And last time. And come back to your neutral tabletop. Walk your hands a couple of steps forward into a kneeling plank. So again, same thing here, just a little bit different load. Keeping your spine nice and still. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Let that action lower your chest. Pull your shoulder blades apart and let that action lift. A little squeeze to lower. Push your shoulder blades apart to lift. Get two more. Squeeze in and apart. Last time, in and apart. Tuck your toes under, lift your knees. Same thing, we'll just do it 3 times here. You can always put your knees back down if you want. Squeeze together, we try to keep everything else the same. Push your shoulder blades apart across your back. Last 2, squeeze. And last time. And come back to plank and downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. Take a couple breaths here, maybe pedal out your feet. Again, while you're here, try to find that neutral spot where your shoulder blades are kind of flat across your upper back, not squeezing together, not really pulling apart, but sitting right in between. Lengthen your heels down and back. As you inhale, take your right leg up, 3-legged dog. Pause there. And just for the purposes of class right now, try to keep your right knee pointing towards the ground so your hips are kind of level. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bring your knee into your chest, shift forward. Pause there for a moment before going into low lunge. So to give yourself a little bit more clearance, find that kind of cat-shaped back, a little bit of rounding through your upper spine. Pull your shoulder blades apart. One more breath in. As you exhale as quietly as you can, step your right foot forward into low lunge between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Step your left foot up to meet your right. Lengthen your chest if you'd like. Lift your fingertips onto your shins. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Reach your arms up. Grab onto opposite elbows. As you exhale, take a side bend over to your right. Inhale up through center. And exhale, bend over to your left. Inhale, mountain. Reach up. Exhale, fold. Take your arms any path you'd like as you lower. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your left foot back, low lunge. Kind of reversing the movement. Here, press into your palms. And that little cat in your upper back. plank. Step right foot back to meet your left. And exhale, slowly lower all the way down to your belly. Keep your palms light underneath your shoulders. As you inhale, cobra, peel your chest up. Squeeze your shoulder blades together a little bit so that active upper back. Hover your hands. Reach your fingertips back like you're trying to touch your heels. So as you reach back, your arms are squeezing together just a little bit. Take a breath in. Exhale, lower down. Replant your palms from your toes to your knees. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good breath in. And back out. Inhale, lift your left leg like a dog. Exhale, bring your knees forward. Pause in the transition for a second. That little lift in your upper back, where you want your foot to go. Breathe in. Exhale, low lunge. Softly as you can, set your foot down. Inhale, step forward, half lifts. Exhale, folds. Inhale, mountain pose. Capture your elbows. Exhale, bend over to your left. Inhale, back through center. And exhale to your right. Inhale through center, reach up. Exhale, folds. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, right foot back, low lunge. In the start of that transition, little lift through your upper back. Inhale, high plank. Try to make your transition quiet as you step back. Exhale, slowly lower all the way down in one piece. Inhale, cobra, peel up. Exhale, reach your arms back by your sides. Imagine touching your heels. Inhale, cobra, bring your palms back. Exhale, lower, tuck your toes. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath in. And full breath back out. Inhale, lift your heels. Bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lifts. And exhale, folds. Inhale, mountain pose. As you exhale, bend your knees into chair. Reach your arms back. Face your palms up towards the ceiling. Imagine trying to squeeze your thumbs towards each other, towards the center line as you press up. So working a little bit of shoulder extension and towards that little bit of adduction as well. And inhale, come back up to mountain. Exhale, forward folds. Inhale, halfway lifts. And exhale, chaturanga, whatever that looks like for you right now. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts up, three-legged dog. Exhale, low lunge, that slow, smooth transition. Inhale, warrior two, Virabhadrasana. Set yourself up there, pause for a second. So trying to move from your upper arm bones rather than just your forearms, rotate your palms to face up towards the ceiling. Imagine your upper arm bones spinning back in space into the external rotation. And then rotate your palms down and back, trying to move your upper arm bones forward into the internal rotation. And just do that a few more times. So your forearms will probably do some of the movement. That's fine. See if you can try to find it from the head of your humerus. Good, come back to neutral. Take a breath in. Exhale, side angle, reach forward and down with your right arm, up with your left. If you'd like, you can take it all the way overhead. In your lifted arm, try to find that external rotation, spinning the head of your left upper arm bone backwards in space. Good. Inhale, straighten your legs to star pose. Bring your forearms and your palms to touch in front of you. So kind of like eagle arms, just without the cross. As you exhale, bend your knees, pull your elbows down towards your chest. As you inhale, straighten your legs, reach your fingertips up like you're sliding your forearms against a wall, and as high as you can without your elbows coming apart. Good. Exhale, sink back down. Inhale, warrior two, back to the front. As you exhale, with your back arm, internally rotate. Bring the back of your hand to the small of your low back, so like a little bit of a half bind. Inhale, reverse warrior. Reach up and over. Find a little bit of pressure between your left hand and your back. Breathe in. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, three-legged dog. Right leg up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Inhale. And breathe out. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, low lunge. Try to take the whole breath out to step forward. Inhale, warrior two, Virabhadrasana, pause. So that same rotation moving from your upper arm bones. So as you externally rotate, your palms face up. As you internally rotate, they face down and back. Good. Come back to neutral. Breathe in. Exhale, side angle. Reach forward and down with your lifted arm and externally rotate as you reach. Good. Inhale, star, bringing your palms and elbows together, toes out. Reach your fingertips up as high as you can without letting your elbows separate. Exhale, horse, pull your elbows down towards your chest. Inhale, star, reaching up. And exhale, horse, hug in. Inhale, warrior two, back to the front of your mat. If you exhale, internally rotate your right arm. Bring the back of your hand to the small of your low back, just like a mini bind, to point your elbows straight back. Inhale, reverse warrior. Move your left hand up and over away from your left knee. Breathe in. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, three-legged dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good. As you take a few breaths in downward facing dog, you keep your upper back broad. Press through both the inner and outer edges of your palms and your thumbs. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees. Exhale, top of your mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain all the way up. Exhale, chair. Press your palms back and up. Imagine trying to squeeze your thumbs together. Inhale, mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior two, Virabhadrasana. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, star, palms and elbows together. Exhale, horse, hug your arms in. Inhale, star, lift your fingertips. And exhale, back down. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, that little half bind with your back arm. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step forward, low lunge. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, star. Slide palms and elbows together and up. Exhale, horse. Slide your elbows straight down. Inhale, star. And exhale, horse. Inhale, warrior two, back to the front. Exhale, internally rotate for your half bind. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels, look forward. Exhale, top of your mat. So bring your feet about hip distance apart. Just slide your palms face up underneath your feet. Let your head hang heavy. Bend your knees as much as you need to make it comfortable and accessible for your hamstrings. Maybe give your toes a little wiggle on your wrists. Good. Free your hands up from underneath your feet. Walk your feet back together. Inhale, halfway lifts. Exhale, left foot back to low lunge. Hug your inner thighs together and keep that set up in your lower half. And inhale, come the rest of the way up with your chest and with your arms. So plug your right femur back into its socket. If you notice your ribs tend to flare forward a lot here, see if you can bring them back in space a little bit. Okay, take one more breath in. And as you exhale, just your arms touch your fingertips together, like in a little diamond shape behind your back. So you're going for like a little bit more active variation of a bind. You're using more active range of motion rather than just leverage to hold your arms in place. As you inhale, straighten your right leg. If you want, you can shorten up your stance a little bit. Exhale, baby pyramid, hinged forward. Try to keep lifting your diamonds of your hands away from your low back. And inhale, airplane, lift up onto your right foot. Good, exhale, release the bind, reach back. Inhale, come all the way up to one-legged mountain. And just like you did before, bring your palms and your elbows together. And exhale, sit into Eagle Garudasana. Cross your left leg over your right. You can take a single or a double bind with your legs. Going to do a little traveling eagle here. So keep your arms pressing together. Step your left foot back behind your right foot. Transfer the weight onto your left foot. So now you're on eagle, just on the opposite side. Your right leg crossed over your left. Just keep going back. Step around to the outside of your heel as you transfer your weight back. Just find that little pulse up and down with your arms and up as you transition. Once you've made it to where you think the back of your mat might be, inhale, mountain pose, release your arms up. And exhale, fold forward. Good, walk your feet about hip distance or so apart with your toes out a little bit for Malasana. Bend your knees, let your hips drop. And just to start, bring your hands together at your chest. So do it similar half find that we worked on for the reverse warrior. You bring your right hand out in front of your right toes. So you inhale, reach your left arm open. So you exhale in. Right knee, your right shin. And instead of like holding on for dear life with your hands, maybe just touch your fingertips together here so your shoulders have to stay just a little bit more active here. Take one more breath in. And exhale, let it go. Forward fold, lift your hips back up. You can keep your feet apart. Just let your body relax for a second. And try the second side. So come back into Malasana. And this time, send your left fingertips forward of your left toes on the diagonal. Inhale, peel your right arm open. As you exhale, internally rotate. So your thumb starts to face down as you move your arm either to the small of your back or maybe move towards your left hip. You can stay right there, or if you'd like to add the full bind, your left thumb will point down as you internally rotate, wrap it around the front of your shin. And perhaps you just touch your fingertips together here rather than grabbing onto your hands. If you notice your weight starting to sink way over to the left, try to keep it equal between your left and your right foot. Keep reaching your right shoulder open in space. One more breath in. Exhale, gently unwrap. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk your hands forward. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees. Step or walk, top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right foot back into low lunge. Pause there, come up onto your fingertips. Lengthen your chest forward as you turn your right heel down, setting up for warrior one. Now press into the outside edge of your right foot. Pull your left hip back and in. Just hover your chest as you reach your fingertips back. You get as long as you can from the crown of your head down through your tailbone. As you inhale, bring yourself all the way up into warrior one. So the best you can to orient your hips facing forward, but your legs are doing different things here. So pretty likely they won't be all the way forward, and that's totally okay. One more breath in. And as you exhale, you're gonna make that diamond shape with your thumb and your forefingers behind your back. And try to lift your hands away from your sacrum. So it might not be a very dramatic lift, and that's fine. Straighten your front leg if you want, shorten your stance a little bit, and start to hinge forward into a baby pyramid. There's no need to go super low here. Keep moving your chest forward like you're trying to reach it over your toes. Good. Inhale, airplane, shift forward onto your left foot. And as exhale, release your arms to your sides. Inhale, one-legged mountain. Come up. As you exhale, press your palms and your elbows together. Eagle pose, Garudasana. Cross your right leg over your left. To find your balance and your gaze past the blade of your hands. And same thing, traveling back in space. You unwrap your right leg, step it to the outside of your left heel. Move your left leg to cross over your right. And as you lift up to make that transition, lift your fingertips up a little bit. As you sit back into eagle, draw your elbows down. Once you're at the back of your mat or somewhere close, inhale, come up to mountain. And exhale, fold forward. Good. Walk your feet back out to set up for Malasana. The toes out just a little bit. Bend your knees and sit your hips down. So you can just chill here for a couple more breaths if you'd like, or move into kind of a flying frog. Just keeping your elbows to the insides of your knees. Plant your hands, shift your gaze forward. So your upper body is pretty parallel to the floor. Just tuck your heels in towards your glutes. Find that little spread of your shoulder blades across your upper back. It's that little bit of a cat back shape. Take one more breath in wherever you are. And then exhale, forward folds. Bring your feet back together. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk your hands forwards. Inhale, high plank, shift forward. So bring your feet maybe a little wider than they might normally be in high plank. Be a little bit wider than hips distance. Get really strong through your right arm. To reach your left arm forward and see if you can do it while kind of minimizing the tendency to rotate your left side up. Keeping both of your toes down, just rotate open to the left into a side plank. Rotate back to your one arm plank, reach your left arm forward, and downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back, catch your breath for a second. All right, the last side here. Inhale, high plank, shift forwards. As you exhale, reach your right arm forward. Slowly with control, roll your heels to the left. For side plank, open up to your right. You can have your right arm kind of wherever you like it. You keep your breath steady. Roll back to one arm plank. And downward facing dog. Drop your knees to the ground. Just sit back into child's pose. Let your arms go wherever it feels most restful. And take a pause for just a few seconds to let your breath slow down. And if they're not there, reach your arms forward. Come up into a tabletop. Walk your hands forward and slowly lower yourself all the way down to your mats. Plant your palms right underneath your shoulders. Take your left arm out to the side so your fingertips are about in line with your shoulders. Bend your right knee and just roll yourself over onto the left side of your body for crocodile. You'll plant your right foot on the ground. If you're feeling good here and you'd like a little bit more, you can bring your left foot onto the ground, point your knees up so your lower half is like in a bridge shape. And as you take a couple breaths here, as you inhale, add just a little bit of pressure with your left palm into the ground. So you're kind of making a more active stretch, requiring a little bit of strength in that lengthened state. And as you exhale, slowly let that go. And roll back to center. Bring your left palm back underneath your left shoulder. Send your right arm out to the right. Bend your left knee. And roll yourself into crocodile on your right side.
You can adjust your legs however you need on this side. It might be the same as the first, it might be different. Just add that little ramp up of pressure, pressing your right hand, your right elbow towards the ground, just gently. And on your exhales, let that pressure go. So you're just asking those muscles at the front of your shoulder to generate a little bit of strength when they're in that lengthened state. And roll back to center. This time, keep your left hand where it is. Across your right arm, underneath your throat, thread your right arm over to the left. And just let your chest relax over the top of your right arm. Just a little thread the needle. You're going to feel your right shoulder blade moving wide across your upper back. You need a little bit more space on that side. Gently bring your right arm out from underneath. Plant your right palm and just switch sides. Move your left fingertips over to the right. So your upper arm is kind of underneath your throat. So you can sort of modulate the amount of pressure you place by how relaxed you let your upper half get over your left shoulder. So you might hold a little bit of your weight up or sit completely sink into it. And unthread your left arm. Just roll yourself over onto your back. Plant your feet, bend your knees, and just lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. You can just hold it there, or if you want to grab onto the back of your right thigh, your right calf, or if you're feeling more flexible than I am, maybe your ankle or your toes, just gently draw your leg in towards your chest. And switch legs, bring your right foot down, lift your left leg up, hold on wherever it feels appropriate for this side. Just draw your leg in until you feel a little bit of sensation, but somewhere that you can stay and breathe comfortably for a moment. I'm going to draw both knees into your chest, give them a little squeeze. I'm going to move into supine twist. Draw your knees over to the right in any shape that feels good to you here. Once you find that spot, give yourself a few breaths to be still, to slow back down. Bring your knees back through center, and then transition them over to your left. Bring your knees back through center. And find a happy baby holding on to your feet, your shins, behind your knees. Maybe rock side to side, straighten your legs out. Good. Bring your knees back together. And just set your feet back on the floor for just a second. Reach your arms straight up towards the ceiling. Cross your elbows and reach around for the outside borders of your shoulder blades. Pull your shoulder blades a little bit further apart across your upper back. As you reach your elbows up, take a big breath in. And you feel the space across your upper back between your shoulder blades broaden. And breathe out. Good. Inhale, try to feel the breath all the way through your upper back, the tops of your lungs. They go all the way up underneath your collarbones. And breathe out. Good. Last breath like that in here. And as you exhale, Shavasana. Take a moment just as you started to get comfortable. Get out any last little fidgets or wiggles. And refine stillness. And start to move your fingers and your toes, your wrists and your ankles. Inhale, your arms overhead. Exhale, draw your knees in slowly with your eyes closed and make your way up to a seat. So you inhale, reach your arms overhead. Join your palms. Exhale, draw your thumbs down to the center of your chest.
Namaste.
Thank you, Jessica. I can't see.
Thanks so much for coming.
Yeah, that was amazing. I forget how important scapular movement is.
I know. Yeah, it's tough. I feel like that's one of the things that like so many people, you see in class and they're just like moving all over the place and people like think they're moving their shoulders, but they're really like moving their spine. And
Yeah.
I feel like especially because I haven't done a ton of yoga since I've been down in Florida, just because there's not like that many studios that I've really vibed with too much, or they're like kind of far away or tough parking or whatever. And now especially that the gym's closed, my whole upper body is just feeling like a wet noodle.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah. Well, this is good. It's a good way definitely to, work through anything with yourself, but also like bring mindfulness to these spots for others that are
Yeah.
dismissed. So I think it's good. I like what you're doing. And that walking chair, whoa, I've never done that.
Oh, the eagle thing? Yeah, I just saw one of the people that I follow on Instagram. I saw that the other day and I was like, oh, that's like a really interesting transition, like a way that we don't normally like get around. So I was like, I'm going to try that out.
Yeah, I like
So
that.
yeah, I always love things like that that kind of throw you off balance a little bit or kind of make you think off of autopilot.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
being here.
So
Enjoy
do you
that.
think, did this setup, I tried to move things around. I don't have very many like blank walls or spaces in my apartment, but does this work a little better than like how I had it last week? I feel like it's more visible.
Yeah, I agree. I could see your whole self.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I'll keep doing it this way because it seems to just be a lot better and less cluttered. And then I don't have to be vertical. So,
Yeah. I think it worked well for you today.
all right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I hope to get in some of your guys' classes soon. And just since I'm like 3 hours ahead, a lot of the evening ones are really hard because it's like 8 or 9 o'clock. And
Exactly.
by then I've already had dinner and I'm like in my pajamas and ready to go to bed. But I'm going to do my best to try to find some time on the schedule to get into everybody's classes. I feel like kind of isolated down here. So it'd be nice to see what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, for sure. I know. This is the only one I've really been to. I can't get to the others beyond the 6 a.m. or 6:15 that I teach. But
Yeah.
I think we'll be probably getting some more openings and more availability over the weekends too, which would be nice.
Yeah.
Working on that. So hopefully.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Especially since
Yeah.
everyone's going to be stuck at home again.
I know, right? Yeah, we should definitely probably get busier. So
Yeah.
hopefully more classes that we can take too.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. Have a great Friday, great weekend.
You too. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.